Imagine a world so remote, so hostile, that sunlight never touches its depths. This world is home to some of the most bizarre and mysterious creatures ever discovered, creatures so strange they defy everything we think we know about life on Earth. The deep sea, often referred to as Earth's final frontier, stretches across more than 60% of our planet's surface, yet it remains largely unexplored. What lies beneath these abyssal depths? What strange, otherworldly creatures call this place home? Today, we'll embark on a fascinating journey to uncover the strange and mysterious creatures of the deep sea, beings that challenge our understanding of biology, evolution, and the resilience of life itself. Let's begin this dive into the unknown. Exploring Earth's largest, least explored habitat. Before we dive deep into the creatures themselves, we must first explore the vast and mysterious environment they inhabit. The deep sea is one of the most extreme and hostile environments on Earth. It is cold, dark, and under immense pressure. Yet despite these conditions, life flourishes. The sheer size of the deep sea. To grasp just how massive the deep sea is, let's break down some numbers. The deep ocean accounts for more than 60% of Earth's surface area and about 95% of the total ocean volume. It's divided into several zones based on depth, each with its own unique environmental challenges. Some parts of the deep ocean go as deep as 11 kilometers, nearly 7 miles. To put that in perspective, the highest point on Earth, Mount Everest, would easily be submerged within the deepest ocean trench with about 2 kilometers of water above its peak. With the ocean's vast size comes the reality that over 80% of it remains unexplored. This means that while we've landed men on the moon, we know less about our own oceans. This unexplored frontier offers boundless opportunities for discovery, creatures that are entirely new to science, living in conditions we never thought life could endure. The abyssal zones, an overview of the depths. Understanding the various zones of the deep sea is crucial in appreciating the incredible adaptations that creatures have developed to survive. The ocean is split into 5 major zones based on depth and light penetration. The epipelagic zone, 200 meters, the topmost layer is the epipelagic zone, also known as the sunlight zone. This is where photosynthesis occurs, and most of the ocean's life forms reside. The creatures here are the ones we're most familiar with: whales, dolphins, and the majority of commercially fished species. The mesopelagic zone, 201,000 meters. Next, we enter the twilight zone, where sunlight begins to fade. Creatures in the mesopelagic zone often rely on bioluminescence to communicate, find prey, or evade predators. The lack of light forces creatures to develop unique adaptations, and it's here that we start to see the first glimpses of the alien-like creatures of the deep sea. The bathopelagic zone, 4,000 meters. The bathopelagic zone, also called the midnight zone, is entirely devoid of sunlight. At this depth, the water is near freezing, and the pressure is hundreds of times greater than at the surface. Creatures that live here are truly alien, with adaptations that seem out of a science fiction novel. The abyssopelagic zone, 6,000 meters. This zone is known as the abyss. Few creatures live here, but those that do are masters of survival. The pressure is immense, and food is scarce, so these creatures have evolved to conserve energy and survive on minimal resources. The hadalpelagic zone, 11,000 meters. The hadal zone includes the deepest ocean trenches, such as the Mariana Trench, which plunges to depths of over 11 kilometers. Very little is known about the life forms in this zone, but those that have been discovered are nothing short of extraordinary. These creatures exist in a place where pressure exceeds 1,000 times the atmospheric pressure at sea level, temperatures are near freezing, and sunlight is non-existent. Yet, somehow, life has found a way to adapt and thrive. Bioluminescence, nature's light show. Now that we've familiarized ourselves with the depth zones, let's dive into one of the most remarkable adaptations in the deep sea: bioluminescence. Imagine being able to create your own light in total darkness. In the deep ocean, about 90% of creatures have this ability. The science behind bioluminescence is the production and emission of light by living organisms. It occurs through a chemical reaction between an enzyme called luciferase and a light-emitting molecule called luciferin. This reaction produces a cold light, meaning it generates very little heat. This is important because heat would be wasted energy in the deep sea, where conservation of resources is essential for survival. Creatures use bioluminescence in a variety of ways, to communicate, lure prey, confuse predators, and even camouflage themselves. Let's explore some of the deep sea's most fascinating bioluminescent creatures. The lanternfish, lighting the way in the twilight zone. One of the most numerous and widespread creatures in the deep sea, the lanternfish uses bioluminescence to navigate the twilight zone. These small fish have photophores, light-producing organs, that run along their bodies. The light they produce helps them communicate with one another, confuse predators, and attract prey. What makes lanternfish particularly remarkable is their sheer abundance. It's estimated that there are over 1,000 trillion lanternfish in the world's oceans, making them one of the most abundant vertebrates on Earth. Their nightly migrations from the depths to near the surface for feeding are the largest animal migration on the planet by biomass. The flashlight fish, eyes that glow. Another bioluminescent marvel is the flashlight fish, found in the mesopelagic zone. These fish have light organs located beneath their eyes, which can be turned on or off using a specialized shutter system. The light produced helps them navigate through the dark waters, find prey, and avoid predators. Interestingly, flashlight fish are also known to use their bioluminescence to confuse predators. When threatened, they can produce quick flashes of light to disorient their attackers before making a swift getaway. The anglerfish, the original lure. No discussion of bioluminescent creatures would be complete without mentioning the infamous anglerfish. These terrifying fish are iconic for their glowing lure, known as the esker, which dangles in front of their oversized jaws. The anglerfish's lure is filled with bioluminescent bacteria, which glow to attract unsuspecting prey. Once a smaller fish or shrimp is lured in by the glowing light, the anglerfish strikes with lightning speed. But the anglerfish's bioluminescent lure isn't the only fascinating thing about them. In some species, males are tiny compared to females. When a male finds a female, he attaches himself to her with his teeth and eventually fuses with her body, becoming little more than a sperm-producing appendage. This bizarre reproductive strategy is unique to the deep sea and ensures that females can reproduce whenever they encounter a suitable mate. Giants of the abyss, the behemoths that roam the deep. While the deep sea is home to many small and delicate creatures, it's also where some of the largest and most awe-inspiring animals live. These giants have adapted to the harsh environment by growing to enormous sizes, a phenomenon known as deep-sea gigantism. The giant squid, the kraken of the deep. The giant squid is one of the ocean's most mysterious creatures. It's the stuff of legends. Some believe it's the origin of the mythological kraken, a sea monster said to terrorize sailors. Giant squids can grow up to 43 feet, 13 meters, long, with some reports suggesting even larger specimens. Despite their size and the mythology surrounding them, very little is known about giant squids. They live at depths of 300 to 1,000 meters, making them incredibly difficult to study. In fact, the first footage of a live giant squid in its natural habitat wasn't captured until 2012. Scientists still don't fully understand their behavior, feeding patterns, or how they reproduce. What we do know is that giant squids have the largest eyes in the animal kingdom, up to 30 centimeters in diameter. These massive eyes help them detect faint light in the deep sea, such as the bioluminescence of other creatures or the shadow of a predator, like a sperm whale. The colossal squid, even larger, even more mysterious. If the giant squid wasn't impressive enough, its cousin, the colossal squid, is even bigger and more elusive. Found primarily in the deep waters around Antarctica, the colossal squid holds the record for the largest invertebrate on Earth. The largest specimen ever recorded was around 46 feet, 14 meters, long and weighed nearly 1,000 pounds, 450 kilograms. Unlike the giant squid, the colossal squid has shorter arms and a more robust body, but it comes equipped with a terrifying weapon, sharp, swiveling hooks on its tentacles. These hooks allow the squid to capture and hold onto large prey like fish and even smaller squids. Much like its giant counterpart, very little is known about the colossal squid. Most of what we've learned comes from studying dead specimens found in the stomachs of sperm whales. It's believed that sperm whales actively hunt colossal squids, engaging in epic battles beneath the waves. The deep-sea isopod, a giant pill bug moving away from the colossal cephalopods. We encounter the deep-sea isopod, a creature that looks like an oversized version of the pill bugs you might find in your garden. These giant crustaceans can grow up to 16 inches, 40 centimeters, long, making them one of the largest isopods on Earth. Deep-sea isopods are scavengers, living at depths of up to 2,500 meters, where they feed on dead animals that sink to the ocean floor. Because food is so scarce in the deep sea, isopods have adapted to survive for long periods without eating. Some have been observed fasting for over 5 years in captivity. One of the reasons deep-sea isopods grow so large is their slow metabolism, which allows them to conserve energy in an environment where resources are limited. Their size also helps them store more energy, which is crucial for survival in the deep. Extreme adaptations: how creatures survive in the deep. The deep sea is a world of extremes, immense pressure, near freezing temperatures, and perpetual darkness. To survive in this hostile environment, creatures have developed some of the most extraordinary adaptations on the planet. Let's explore some of these incredible survival strategies. Transparent bodies and specialized eyes. In the deep sea, where sunlight doesn't penetrate, many creatures have evolved transparent or translucent bodies as a form of camouflage. By being nearly invisible, these creatures can evade predators and ambush prey. One of the most striking examples of this is the barrelea fish, also known as the spookfish. This small, deep-sea fish has a transparent head, allowing it to look upward through its skull with specialized tubular eyes. These upward-facing eyes help it detect the faint outlines of prey silhouetted against the dim light from above. What's even more fascinating is that the barrelea fish's eyes are encased in a fluid-filled shield, protecting them from the harsh environment and giving the fish a clear view of its surroundings. This adaptation makes it one of the most unique creatures in the deep sea. Massive mouths and elastic stomachs. In a place where food is scarce, deep-sea creatures have evolved massive mouths and elastic stomachs to take advantage of whatever meal comes their way. One of the best examples of this adaptation is the gulper eel, also known as the pelican eel. The gulper eel's mouth is enormous relative to its body, allowing it to swallow prey much larger than itself. Its stomach can expand to accommodate these large meals, making it a highly efficient predator. When not feeding, the gulper eel's massive mouth collapses, giving it a streamlined appearance as it swims through the dark depths. Interestingly, the gulper eel also has a bioluminescent tail, which it uses to attract prey. The glowing tip of its tail resembles a small worm, luring fish and crustaceans into the gulper eel's waiting jaws. Pressure resistance: the physics of survival. Perhaps the most mind-boggling challenge that deep-sea creatures face is the immense pressure. At the deepest part of the ocean, the pressure is more than 1,000 times greater than at the surface. For most organisms, this kind of pressure would be lethal, crushing cells and collapsing organs. Yet deep-sea creatures have evolved to withstand these conditions through a variety of adaptations. Many have flexible, gelatinous bodies that can compress under pressure without being damaged. Their cells contain specialized proteins that prevent them from collapsing under the extreme pressure. In some cases, deep-sea creatures have evolved to lack gas-filled spaces, such as swim bladders, that would be vulnerable to compression. Instead, they rely on fatty tissues or dense, muscle-based locomotion to move through the water. Surviving in darkness: hunting without light in the perpetual darkness of the deep sea, vision is often of limited use. As a result, many deep-sea creatures have developed other senses to help them navigate, hunt, and avoid predators. Some, like the vampire squid, rely on highly sensitive tentacles to detect the faintest vibrations in the water, allowing them to find prey in total darkness. The vampire squid, with its jet-black body and glowing blue eyes, is a master of survival in the oxygen-depleted depths of the deep sea. Instead of hunting actively, it uses a unique feeding strategy. The vampire squid collects marine snow, tiny particles of organic matter that drift down from the upper layers of the ocean, and feeds passively on this nutrient-rich debris. This allows it to conserve energy while still getting the nutrients it needs to survive. The Hadal Zone: life in the ocean's deepest trenches. As we descend into the ocean's deepest trenches, we enter the Hadal Zone. This is the most extreme environment on Earth, with pressures that are almost unimaginable, near freezing temperatures, and no light whatsoever. Yet, even here, life thrives. The snailfish, the world's deepest fish. One of the most surprising discoveries in recent years is the snailfish found in the Mariana Trench. In 2014, researchers captured footage of a snailfish living at depths of over 8,000 meters, the deepest fish ever recorded. These snailfish have evolved gelatinous bodies that can withstand the crushing pressure of the deep sea. Their skeletons are reduced, and their flesh is soft and pliable, which allows them to survive in an environment where most creatures would be crushed. What's particularly fascinating about these snailfish is their diet. They feed on small crustaceans and invertebrates that live in the sediment at the bottom of the trench. By adapting to the extreme conditions of the Hadal zone, these snailfish have carved out a niche in one of the most inhospitable places on Earth. Amphipods, the shrimp of the deep. Amphipods are small, shrimp-like creatures that are found in all the world's oceans, but some species have adapted to live in the Hadal zone. In the Mariana Trench, amphipods have been discovered at depths of up to 10,900 meters, where they feed on organic matter that drifts down from the surface. These deep-sea amphipods have developed specialized enzymes and proteins that allow their cells to function under extreme pressure and cold temperatures. Their flexible exoskeletons also help them withstand the crushing forces of the deep ocean. What makes amphipods particularly important is their role in the deep-sea ecosystem. As scavengers, they help break down dead organic material, providing a crucial link in the food chain. Without amphipods, much of the organic matter that sinks to the ocean floor would go to waste. Controversies and unknowns. What we still don't know about the deep sea. Despite the incredible discoveries we've made in the deep sea, much of it remains a mystery. Scientists estimate that we've only catalogued around 10% of the species that live in the deep ocean. This means that the vast majority of deep sea life is still unknown to science. The giant squid. Are there larger beasts lurking below? While we've captured footage of giant squids and even studied dead specimens, there are persistent rumors and stories of even larger squids, or other colossal sea monsters, lurking in the deep. Some unverified reports suggest squids reaching lengths of over 60 feet, 18 meters, although none have been scientifically confirmed. This has led to speculation that there may be creatures even larger than the colossal squid waiting to be discovered. Could the myths of sea monsters, like the kraken, have some basis in reality? Until we explore more of the deep sea, the answer remains a tantalizing mystery. The search for new species. One of the most exciting aspects of deep sea exploration is the potential for discovering new species. In recent years, deep sea expeditions have yielded hundreds of new species, from jellyfish with intricate, glowing patterns to previously unknown crustaceans and fish. As technology improves and we explore deeper parts of the ocean, we are likely to uncover even more species that challenge our understanding of biology and evolution. These new discoveries could offer insights into how life evolved on Earth and even provide clues about the possibility of life on other planets. The great unknown. Life beneath the seafloor. One of the most intriguing mysteries of the deep sea is what lies beneath the ocean floor. Some scientists believe that vast ecosystems of microorganisms could exist within the sediments and rocks of the deep sea floor. These microorganisms, known as extremophiles, are capable of surviving in conditions that would be lethal to most other life forms. If life can exist in such extreme environments on Earth, it raises the possibility that similar life forms could exist on other planets or moons with similar conditions, such as Europa, one of Jupiter's moons. The endless mystery of the deep sea. As we reach the end of our journey through the deep sea, one thing is clear. The ocean's depths are home to some of the most bizarre, fascinating, and mysterious creatures on the planet. From bioluminescent hunters to colossal squid, the deep sea is a world unlike any other on Earth. Yet, despite all we've discovered, there is still so much we don't know. The deep sea remains one of the least explored places on Earth, and with each new expedition, we uncover more questions than answers. The creatures we've met today are just a glimpse of the incredible diversity that exists in the ocean's depths. As technology advances and we continue to explore the deep sea, we are likely to encounter even more strange and mysterious creatures that challenge our understanding of life itself. Who knows what otherworldly beings are waiting to be discovered in the abyss? The mystery continues, and the deep sea holds many more secrets yet to be revealed. And so, as we conclude this journey through the unknown, let us remember that the deep sea is not just a place of scientific curiosity. It's a reminder of how little we truly know about the planet we call home. The ocean's depths, teeming with life in forms we can barely imagine, remain a source of wonder and mystery. As we continue to explore, we can only hope that the creatures of the deep sea will continue to surprise and captivate us for generations to come.